Sheesh, this has been a wild ride this week. Most people sell when things get quiet. But what I've learned, the boring phases, especially with XRP, that's where the real wealth is built. There's been some cool stuff that I've learned across investing. And by all means, I'm sure you guys have a ton of experience on me. But what I've learned is boring equals, and this is going to be one of the points, right? We're going to talk about 3 points. And the first point is boring equals undervalued, but not useless. Point number 2 is the price does not always equal the value. And here's what I learned and what I looked at instead. Point 3 is the boring times is when you can actually stack up more. You can stack up more of the asset that you want and more XRP in this case. So let's go to point 1. Boring equals undervalued, but not useless. So it feels like it's boring, right? It might be because it's working in the background. And in most cases, that's what it is. XRP cycles in where the price stalled, and that's where a lot of people have lost their patience. And then they just stop looking at it, or they just completely sell out. That's not what you should do. And I'm not a financial advisor, but this is not what I would do. And this isn't what I've been doing at all, is I just stack it. I just keep it. And then I make sure that I'm up to date with all the news that's going on. And I look at the partnerships that are happening. If you look at the chart, it can be flat for a very long time and then it shoots up. But the opportunity actually comes from regulatory progress and then the development activities that are out there that's going on and all the cool things that you can do with it. So the way that I look at XRP is like it's a wealth generator. I'm going to keep it for forever basically. And then make sure that I use it as a part of one of my investment vehicles. It's just a vehicle for me for generational wealth. So that's how I'm taking XRP. The way that I'm trying to look at it is make sure that I can either borrow against it, like what I do with life insurance. So that's what I do now is infinite banking. And I have a couple of videos that I can resurface and then talk about here. But within crypto, you can do the same exact thing. You can borrow against it. It's kind of like the 401k too. If you're working a 9 to 5, you can borrow against your 401k and it's not taxed. So it's all like the way that they take it is like a loan. Now a loan for some people, it might seem bad, but in this case, you're leveraging it based on what you already have. And so you're just borrowing against it. And with life insurance, and very similar to what you can do with crypto, is you can set up and structure a policy so that way it's exactly like a death benefit. So it's infinite, it's literally infinite. And so I don't want to get too far into the weeds of that. I can talk about it all day. So a lot of people expect action, but smart investors watch the zones of accumulation and then not just the breakouts, but look at the zones of accumulation, look at the volume on the price charts and the difference between where the low volume is and then the high volume. Just look at where the buyers and sellers are at. You'll see the volumes in between. Right now it's between 190, 192. And then that's where all of the buyers are at. That's where I'm at. And then the sellers are usually at 228. So that's where all the sellers are at. If it breaks above that, that's when the next phase hits. So point number 2, price does not always equal value. So I stopped watching prices and started watching the fundamentals. That's what it means. And the checklist of what else is going to happen. And then what else are we going to do? Brad Garlinghouse dropped the cross appeal. That's already a win. ETFs. We got a 95% chance of it passing. So that's another win, right? Look at the fundamentals and then look at what XRP can solve and all the problems that it can solve. That's insane. The way that I look at it, and I say this all the time, and it's kind of like investing into Google, Apple, Visa back then. It's a no-brainer, right? If you can think retrospectively, what would you do? Now's your chance to do it now, but within crypto. And so to me, Ripple's global payment goals and partnerships and all the ISO improvements, compliance, all that stuff, it's all really solid fundamentals that they're hitting their milestones. And then the regulatory clarity, the trust that they've been building for years with the banks, that's XRP's confidence. It brings me confidence for the long game. So sometimes ask yourself, what does this asset solve and who's building it? Literally just ask yourself those two things constantly when you're looking into an investment, because that's where you're gonna have your trust and your confidence built. I've been burned, oh my gosh, so many times with all sorts of different cryptocurrencies and even investments, even in small businesses too. Trusted the wrong people who I thought were my friends as well too. Like that you can always be burned, right? So make sure that you ask those two questions. What does this asset solve? What does this business solve? What problem does it solve? And who's building it? So with XRP and Ripple, they're solid for me. So when you stop trading off emotions and start investing based on research, boring becomes an opportunity. So think about that. Point number 3, during these boring times is when you can actually stack up more. The way that I look at this is when the hype is gone, the price is better. And then that's when you can actually build your position, right? Make sure that you understand the hype. You can ride the wave and enjoy it, but where you actually make your money during the boring times. You buy low, sell high. In my case, it's buy low and then you just borrow. So that's what I'm trying to do. That's how you accumulate more XRP in any asset. This isn't just for XRP alone, but any asset. And there's going to be noise that happens along the way. And then even if you look at Bitcoin back in the day, there was so much noise, people calling it a scam and all sorts of different things. And if you try and look at it retrospectively, it's insane. I was watching this dude, I forgot his name. He was telling everyone to buy Bitcoin. Oh, I forgot his name. Let me check his name real quick. Everyone to buy. Oh, there you go. That's his name. It's crazy. Da Vinci, Jeremy Da Vinci. So that guy. So pretty, dude's a legend. I'm not sure how much he has now, but he told everyone to buy Bitcoin when it was 26 bucks. And then he was just saying, buy at least one Bitcoin. And everyone was shaming him. And then I looked at that video and then people were just like, who's watching from 2025? And think of those times, because those are opportunities that can happen. And so now's the time. 220 right now. XRP is like what, 220? 223, which is up 1%, just dropped. But anywhere within that range, I think it's still a good time to pick up some XRP. I know I will. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I think I said that twice. I'll say it 1,000 times. But I'm trying to teach you guys the longevity and then also what I do and my 2 cents on things and how I look at things. So these are the times that you can stack up more and accumulate more and ignore the noise. You can listen to the noise if it's good, if it motivates you, but just know that motivation is short term. Discipline is long term. So it's always going to be like those small wins daily that's going to build up that discipline for your mindset. And then that's going to be more long term. So boring now is always going to give you more potential upside later, right? While others were jumping to whatever was hot that week, I just kept on stacking. And that discipline gave me more leverage. So the way that I look at it is the long-term generational wealth. Can I borrow against my assets? So that way I can actually not have to pay taxes and then just have a loan against myself. I'd rather pay myself more interest than any bank. So that's what I'm treating this as. And as I learn more about this strategy, I'll let you guys know how it works, because I've never used it. I just learned about it. So I'm still doing some more research on this strategy to actually use it as if it was like a life insurance policy. I already do have a life insurance policy, and that I work at Infinite Banking, and I've built up, I think, 3 policies, and I'm still trying to grow a lot more. If you'd like to hear more about that strategy and process, just let me know in the comments below, and I can share the video or a remake of the video of it. So the market rewards people who stay calm and when others panic. So the market will always reward people who stay calm when others panic. XRP felt boring, but looking back, that's when I made one of the best decisions for myself. So that's why I wanted to talk about just those 3 things. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and if you have any feedback, please let me know. Thank you for watching. Later, guys.